Yeah, I think it's very important because when we talk about breakup, it hurts. It's very, very tough. And we don't receive any education. There is not a lot of resources on how to navigate to the breakup, especially when we have regrets. So, what's your take on this? How can we survive from a breakup, just generally speaking, and then we can go deeper into details?
Yeah. So the overwhelming majority of people that reach out to us that we work with are really, 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 really struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, they are easily triggered by memories or by their ex's social media activities or past wounds that are just resurfacing
Mm-hmm.
from previous relationships. I'm actually working very closely with a lady in Australia who is feeling really, really down and bad about herself.
Mm-hmm.
This is maybe a little bit more of an extreme case, but she just feels unworthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk about surviving after a breakup, every day is a struggle for her. And I know that many people will kind of identify with that because it's the death of the identity. It's the death of the relationship. And so just projecting yourself in a future where you're no longer together feels very painful.
Mm-hmm.
But what I usually see is that you can take some steps to start to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I hope that we can really hash out today on this episode so that the good people that are listening to us can have tools to cope with the pain.
Yeah, I realized, being a coach, that when there is a breakup, we lose ourselves in the moment, but we lose also the future, the project, everything that we were visualizing with our partner stopped. And I love when you mention it's kind of the death of the relationship, the death of the project, so we have to reinvent ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because when I look back into my personal life, and I never shared it before, but before to be a coach, of course, I had breakups. I had moments where it was very, very tough, especially when you develop feelings. And what was strange for me is I got like several long-term relationships. But one day I remember I was in a relationship for only 3 months. And I was so in love with this woman that, I was like pretty sure she can be the one. And that's when she dumped me. She broke up with me. And it was very, very intense. So I want to say this because sometimes it's not the length of the relationship, it's the intensity that can create the emotions during a breakup. But this breakup, I remember like it was yesterday because it was a reborn for me. I used this breakup to really refocus on myself and fight my codependency. Because all of my relationship was ending up because I was just codependent. I was asking for more. I was losing myself. I was not able to maintain a relationship. So if you're listening to us today, yes, how to survive after a breakup, we can see it in a different way. How can we reborn from a breakup? How can we learn something from the breakup? And for me, it was to really face myself and understand that my way of loving with the codependency was toxic for people. It was not good. Even if I feel like I was a good lover, it's not true. I want to know if your clients, or maybe in your personal life, you had some moment where breakup means reborn.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll get into that. Thank you for opening up and for sharing that. I think it would be really interesting to hear from your personal experience. How did you manage the obsessive thoughts? And talk a little bit about that process. Like, how much time did it take you to be able to rebound, to bounce back, to get this new perspective? And are there any steps that you took during that process that you think really helped?
That's a very good question. So usually I try to block the memories when it comes to breakup or sadness or difficult moment. But I don't know if we will have time to go into details. You can ask me more questions, but I want to talk to you about one moment that I remember. Because I was with my little cousin. We were spending time together watching a movie. And I could not think about something else than the breakup. I could not think about my regrets, but also my mistakes. And I realized that this is also one common situation with my coaching. They always think about what they did wrong.
Right.
And so I was here and I was not happy, not enjoying the moment. And I was in watching the movie with some M&Ms. It's very cliche, but it's just the truth, the truth. It was like I was trying to avoid thinking. And at this specific moment, I just told myself, I can't not be happy with someone I love, like my cousin. We were spending time together, watching a good movie and eating some candy. But the reality is this: I was just not letting myself heal. If you tell yourself, oh, I need to heal, I need to grow, I need to change, basically you're fighting the healing process. And when the moment I was like, okay, let me just be sad for a moment. Let me just cry. Even if I'm a strong man, I'm a 6'5", 220 pounds now. I was 50 pounds a few months ago. But anyways, let's just be yourself. Let's just cry. Let's just heal. Because if you fight the sadness, it stays longer. So the first step for me was to let go. The first step for me was I need to let my emotion go. I need to be okay with taking a moment for myself, be depressed for a week, but after that, I need to push myself back into what did I do wrong? I don't know if it's one advice that you give to your client, but sometimes facing your mirror is what helps also overcome the sadness of the breakup.
So what do you mean by facing your
Just
mirror?
like, okay, I was codependent. I was always after her. I was harassing her. What are you doing? When can we meet again? I miss you, please. All of those behaviors that are not sexy. So that was but the first step for me was being okay with needing to heal. That was the first step. And then, of course, I just focused on my goals. There is a moment where I realized that, okay, now that I cried, I can focus on what will make me a better partner, a better man for the future. And so this is what I'm trying to tell people.